Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video we'll be talking about liver physiology and we'll see little bit about some structural aspect as well. Okay, so let's see. So liver physiology. So liver has four lobes. One is the right lobe, which is the major lobe in liver. Then we have left lobe. If we see posteriorly, we have two more lobes situated here. This is caudate lobe and quadrate lobe. Right behind we have gallbladder situated like this. But physiologically, if we see the anatomy, the anterior posterior aspects are not important. In fact, functional anatomy of liver is important. So let's see what is functional unit of liver. So liver has various lobules. In lobes, liver has various lobules, and lobules are basically some hexagon like structure like this, which are situated around central vein. So at center we have central vein. At all the six corners we have three things situated, and you can see it here, this part. Okay, the major vessel is basically branch of portal vein, and there are two more vessel. One is hepatic artery, and one is bile duct. So these three things are situated at every corner of the lobule. Right at center, it's central vein. So every time basically the blood flow towards central vein ultimately make hepatic vein and vena cava. So this is a microscopic structure of only this much area. This is the zoomed view of only this much area. Okay, talking about lobules in liver, we have 50,000 to 1 lakh lobules present. Okay, and if you see structure of the lobules, hepatocytes are arranged. These are hepatocytes. Okay, hepatocytes are arranged like this, and you can see the blue canal like part, which are called sinusoids. Sinusoids are the open spaces, canal like, between the layers of hepatocytes. Okay, and you can see this is a major vessel, which is the portal vein. From GIT, the portal circulation comes here. It collect the in portal vein, and this is one branch of portal vein. So portal vein, it pure the deoxygenated blood, but which is full of nutrition, full of nutrients from GIT. It run in these sinusoids and pure the secretion the blood into central vein. At same place we have hepatic artery also situated. This is your hepatic artery, from which is branch of descending aorta. So oxygenated blood is also coming at same place, right? And this oxygenated blood is basically poured again into the sinusoids. So these sinusoids are filled with the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, and it is being poured into central vein to ultimately form inferior vena cava, and ultimately that pure the secretion into right atrium. Okay ji, chalo. So what happens basically, this area, so here basically, as this is sinusoid, right? So there the layer is basically the endothelium layer, and you can see endothelium layer is fenestrated, means there are gaps between two endothelial cells. So this is kind of a leaky membrane, because large molecules, the protein bounds molecules, right, various nutrients, various like bile acids, the bile salts, they can cross this epithelium and it can enter the hepatocytes. Okay, that's why the fenestrated endothelium is very important in sinusoids. First thing. Second thing is, in this circulation there are Kupffer cells present. Kupffer cells are basically the macrophage cells present in liver, okay, which are important for immune function. Fine. Otherwise, you can see that these hepatocytes are closed at one place, and this, you can see the green color structure here. This is basically the bile secreted by hepatocytes and poured into the bile duct. Okay. So what happens next? We'll see how basically this is bile duct. And if you see cells, these are the cells which form ultimately some canaliculi structure like this. Here we have sinusoids. Okay, here blood is flowing. and here hepatocyte makes the bile acids and ultimately conjugate them, and it is poured in these canaliculi. Here we have canaliculi of some other hepatocyte, right? So ultimately bile is formed, bile salts, bile acids are released here in conjugated form, and they collect in bile duct. Okay, we'll see this part later on. Okay, so let's now see about blood circulation of liver. So liver is basically supplied with 1500 ml per minute, 20% by hepatic artery around 300 ml, and 80% by portal vein around 1200 ml. If you talk about oxygen supply, you must be wondering that it is by hepatic artery. Yes, hepatic artery supplies oxygen, right? But only 30% of oxygen is supplied by hepatic artery because of the less contribution by hepatic artery. Yes, portal vein is having deoxygenated blood, it is having less oxygen content, but the amount is so high that major oxygen is being supplied by portal vein. Okay, so this is very important to remember. A liver has regenerated capacity also. It can regenerate by whole. If even third fourth part of liver is removed, it can regenerate. This is very nice capacity of liver. Then physiological reserve of liver is, if we basically remove 80% liver or we ligate 90% bile duct, even then the liver can operate its functions normally. Okay, that is called physiological reserve of liver. Now let's see how basically the bile is formed. So bile, it collect in bile duct, and ultimately at one side the bile duct, they become left hepatic duct, left hepatic duct. So left and right hepatic ducts, they ultimately join to form left and right hepatic ducts. They basically form common hepatic duct, common hepatic duct, right? Common hepatic duct, when this runs downward, there is cystic duct. Basically this is gallbladder, which is having all the bile collected together. So bile is formed from here and it basically stored in gallbladder. So whenever required, the cholecystokinin is released from intestine, CCK. Okay, and that cholecystokinin basically contracts this gallbladder. Whenever this is being done, the bile is secreted here. So this is cystic duct. Okay, cystic duct and common hepatic duct, they will join to form common bile duct. Okay, now common bile duct, when this is common bile duct running downward, and here we have pancreas. So this is pancreatic duct, both will join to form hepatopancreatic duct, hepatopancreatic duct, hepatopancreatic duct, and ultimately this duct will open into duodenum part, duodenum, and this opening is called ampulla of Vater, ampulla of Vater. Okay, which is guarded by sphincter, which is called sphincter of Oddi. Okay, so that's how basically bile is being poured in your duodenum. Okay, next is, what is enterohepatic circulation, which is really important. So enterohepatic circulation, we want bile here. So this is your cystic duct, this is your common bile duct joining the pancreatic duct and forming hepatopancreatic duct. So this is your ampulla of Vater, and here bile is released. Okay, in duodenum. Fine. So whenever we have bile here, we don't have sufficient bile for whole day. We have very less amount of bile. The total pool is 3.5 gram. But for our digestion of fat, basically fats, what bile do to fats? It basically help in digestion by emulsifying the fat. You must be thinking, what is emulsification? You can visit my video of digestion and absorption. Emulsification is nothing but a conversion of one fat droplet into very small one, so that lipase can act on them. Okay, that is emulsification. And then the bile salts, they arrange around the fatty acids, which are the digested products, and form micelle, and ultimately that is absorbed into duodenum. Okay, so this is very important, and we want around 6 to 8 gram for that fat digestion. Okay, so at least for one meal it has to run in the circulation twice, so only in that condition it will be sufficient. Okay, that's why we need enterohepatic circulation, means the same less amount available is basically circulating again to fulfill the requirement. Okay, that's why we need enterohepatic circulation. As name shows, enterohepatic means ultimately the bile from intestine is going back into liver. Okay, that is kind of to recirculate. Fine. So 95% bile salts are reabsorbed via portal circulation to the bile pool and again secreted via this whole passageway, and this recirculation is called enterohepatic circulation. Okay. uh, okay, then is the bile basically. So what is enterohepatic circulation? We should have a simple look. What happens basically, duodenum, in duodenum the bile is released. Now what is this bile? This is basically conjugated bile. Conjugated bile salts. Okay, in next video we'll see what are conjugated bile salts and how basically bilirubin is metabolized and what are jaundice and different types of jaundice. So just briefly I want to touch upon here that this conjugated bile salt, it can, from your intestine, it can re-enter via portal circulation to liver. Okay, this is liver, and via liver this is portal circulation, portal vein. Okay, so from your gut via portal circulation these are absorbed back, conjugated one, and then bacterias what they do is they converted them again into unconjugated form. That means primary secondary bile acids. Bile acids, right, they are again absorbed from terminal ileum or colon to portal vein. Okay, and around 5% amount is excreted into feces. Fine, so this whole process is kind of, we call it enterohepatic circulation. Got it? So this is enterohepatic circulation in which 95% of bile acids and bile salts they are reabsorbed back and 5% is excreted every time. So till the last fraction of the bile acids it's being circulated every time, and at least 2 times per meal. So if we have 3 meal, at least 6 times the bile acid is being circulated. Okay, so this is all about enterohepatic circulation. Before going to discuss the details of the function of liver, so we should have idea of bile. What is bile? Basically these are primary bile acids, cholic acid and chenodeoxycholic acid. Okay, and these are secondary bile acids which are deoxycholic acid and lithocholic acid. It's basically nothing but addition of a OH group in both, right? So if these are secondary bile acids, okay, and they can be converted to bile salts. Fine. So and if you see, these are the composition of bile: major bile salts, then bilirubin, then cholesterol and fatty acids. And in gallbladder the concentration of main fat ingredient increases basically. So that's all for today. In next video we'll see the bilirubin metabolism and jaundice. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any query you can comment below. Thanks for watching.